You already know what it is, y'all. It's the word. JAH-ACE from JAH-ACE TV. You already know what it is, y'all. Salute, salute, salute. Yeah, so we about to bring Aisha Hall up on the motherfucking platform. So want everybody to get ready, you know. First of all, y'all tuned in to JAH-ACE TV. You know what I'm saying? We wouldn't have it no other way. We gotta show respect and show love to Aisha Hall. You know what I'm saying? She been through a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? She was in the trenches and she came a long way. So we want to definitely give her just due, give her props, give her respect, man. She definitely done paved the way for a lot of people. She did a lot of great things in her life. You know what I'm saying? So she wanted to come chop it up with JAH-ACE, man. So if y'all don't know who she is, you know, maybe I want to, you know, go do your research. So I'm gonna bring her up here. Salute, salute. I'll bring up here soon. We just gonna let some people come in the building. Share the live though. Share the live. Share the live, y'all. Share the live, y'all. Share the live. Yeah. You already know what it is, y'all. We ain't playing no games. Share the live, man. We about to bring her up on the table, man. Bring her up to the chat. Yeah, Aisha. Yeah, you got the peoples right here. They waiting on you. You know what I mean? Mo Blind, what up? Salute, salute, salute. Yo, Kaz, what up? Salute, salute. Yeah, we got Aisha Hall in the building, y'all. She coming on. Share the live, y'all. Meanwhile, share the live. Let everybody know that we live. Salute the No Blind. Salute the DJ Chris. Just Talk, Real Talk. What up, man? Kaz, salute. Helena, what's going on? Yeah, y'all. We definitely, you know how it is when when people get on the stream yard, everybody don't know how to do it yet, but we about to tune it. We about to get up on the platform right now. What's going on? I can't hear you right now. Can you hear me? Nah. So go out and come back in. You can't hear me? Hold on a second. Let me see something, man. Yeah, you already know what it is, man. Sometimes, everybody don't know how to use the stream, y'all. So we gotta be a little patient, man. We gotta have that patience, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna try to bring the Empress in, man. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I can hear you.
Perfect. So we're good.
Yeah, I think it's just something. It's probably something to do with the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, it looks good now. So,
Yeah, introduce yourself to the peoples.
what's up, you guys? Thank you for having me on your show. My name is Aisha Hall. For those of you that don't know, um, I am from Long Island. I have a crazy story. Just here to support, any platform that's willing to support me. And tell my story, answer any questions that you have, any questions that your supporters have, and just spread some really good information, good love, and just vibe out with you.
Yeah, so you from LI. What part of LI you from?
I'm from Roosevelt.
So how far is that from the city, like New York, like? let's say from Brooklyn, like where I'm from, like how far is that?
I want to say about a half an hour. I'm about maybe 13 minutes or so from Queens.
Well, that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right there. Roosevelt, Hempstead, Freeport. It's right there.
Yeah. So you know, I've been definitely doing my due diligence and my homework, and I've been watching you, through all the things that you've been dealing with. Even before you touched down, I heard about you. You know what I'm saying? I was wild. I used to get a lot of the magazines and all that. So I heard about y'all when you and your whole crew was pushing your books and everything, even while y'all was in the can. So to see you come home, and do the things you're doing, I definitely had to have you on the platform.
I appreciate that a lot. I appreciate that. I mean, I just did my best to make a bad situation into a good and respectable situation. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to be, in a messed up scenario and everything just go down from there. Or you could flip it and use your survival, use your, ability to overcome and make it something that's, interesting, inspiring, motivating, and do what you got to do. So that's basically what I did. I took my negatives and made it into something positive. As cliche as that sound, that's really what I did. So, I tell my story. I tell it, all over. I've traveled, in different places in the country to tell it. Spoken at different places. Been on almost, every radio platform. Um, have done, national shows. Been on B.E.T. Just recorded a VH1 special. Just telling my
Hmm.
story and talking to the people about just real shit. People go through stuff. People aren't perfect. You have some moments where you're not your best self, but you don't want that to be your only story. So the comeback
A
is
fact.
always a better story because it's like, okay, yeah, I went through this, but now look at me. And I don't really think that there's anybody great that we respect, especially black people, that hasn't been through been through the trenches. We really respect the people who can survive the worst. So I'm just happy to be amongst the people that was able to come out of a situation and make, a better version of myself. So that's the type of time I'm on right now.
Yeah. So then, for those that don't know, let the peoples know, because I know some people is tuned in and they know who you are, and if they don't know, they know the face. You know, Tell me a little bit about your family, like the family background. You come from like a good, solid, loving family, and like what made you go left?
So I come from, a really strong family, like you said. I've been fortunate to have a very, very strong father presence. You know what I mean? I think that's really important as a woman. I had a super tight relationship with my dad. My dad was a street legend. Anybody who knows him or who hears his name, they usually like, oh, Prince Colin. He was a legend in the streets. He was a fearless, hustling, just well respected, very intellectual um, guy. He took care of his family. You know, he made the best
Hmm.
of he made the best of the circumstances that he had. Of course, he hustled. He did what a lot of us do when we're trying to come up. But the thing that makes him unique is the fact that he was super gangster, but also super philosophical. He combined the two. So I would more so call him more so than gangster, like militant. Unapologetically militant. And he was able to take that and pour it into me. He taught me how to hustle, how to grind, how to believe in myself. He honed my rap skills. He just was a huge, huge influence on me. So once my dad started working with Public Enemy and doing different things in the music industry, he kind of brought me with him, let me perform with him, took me everywhere with him, and kind of put me on the map in some ways with the music when I was younger. As I got older, you know, I love the music, but I was more interested in the money. I always wanted to make money. I always wanted to be a boss chick, and I kind of followed my father's footsteps. And I always had little hustles, little things I did here and there, nothing crazy. But as I got, you know, older, I started a company where I was trading commodities and basically running like a boiler room. I don't know if you've ever seen like Wall Street or any of those movies, but I basically
Yeah, I
had like
saw it.
I had like the black boiler room, you know, guys off the street that was more so street hustlers that I taught the game. And we came up, you know, we started small and then we ended up making like $1 million a month regularly. So by the time, you know, I got in trouble because I had done some things to kind of cut corners, because the money was just really, really, really sweet, you know, and it was easy if I had changed up some paperwork, which is what I did for my clients. And I was able to pull in, like I said, 1 million to 1.25 million a month. So, you know, doing that run for a year, you know, I'm over $10 million, and really just changing the game in that field. In that private trading world, there's a lot of money, trillions of dollars, but we're not in it. You know, it's you don't see too many blacks. You don't see too many people that are not, you know, middle aged or older white men. So I came in with a whole new flavor, you know, introducing people to a way to change, you know, their lives. You know, you go from
Mm-hmm.
making hundreds of thousands to now you're making millions. And, you know, I did some things that were federal offenses. At the time, I didn't really know how deep. I knew it was like wrong. I'm changing paperwork. You know, I'm doing stuff with the Russian mob. You know, I'm doing all of this craziness, but I'm still thinking like it's light work. I'm not stealing from nobody. You know, I'm not physically harming anybody. So what's the big deal? But when the feds came along, it was a very big deal. So big that, you know, they gave me 10 and a half years in federal prison. Um, and you know, the story just kind of goes from there.
Wow. So let me ask you something. So when you went in there, when they finally caught up with you, you know what you knew it was over. You knew it was a wrap.
Well, when they first caught up with me, they came to me. I don't know if you saw my B.E.T special, but when they
Yeah, I
came to
saw
me,
it.
initially they didn't arrest me. They were just kind of confused with what I was doing. They'd never seen anything like that. And honestly, they were asking me what guy is running my company because they just didn't think that a female could run a company with these guys working for her and moving the way I was moving. They just assumed that there was some guy somewhere in the background doing everything, and there wasn't. So they didn't arrest me initially because they thought there was a bigger fish. So in that time space where they basically let me go, I built up another company. I said, you know what? I made all of this money and the feds took it. All right. Now that I'm accustomed to living this lifestyle, I need to find another way to bring in this same kind of money. So I put a team together, sent them to Africa. And even though I didn't have any money because the feds
Oh
took it,
wow.
the small money I had, and in a matter of 6 to 8 weeks, turned that little 50,000 that I had left, which I didn't even have left because I had to borrow it from my grandfather. But I took that and turned that into 1.25 million in less than 2 months. So I was right back in the game, and that's where I realized that, you know, the art of making money is not about the particular business that you're in. It's about the formula to make that kind of money. There's a formula, and you know, there's a certain mathematics that go along with making millions. And it has to do
Well,
with your mindset. I was already set on I gotta make these M's. So everything that I was touching was gonna make these M's. You know what I'm saying? I went, bought tractor trailers, you know. I basically formulated a plan to make millions with the tractors. I went and bought 75 houses. You know, I'm like, okay, I can use these properties and make my M's back. I was like, fuck the feds. They took the money I had, they took my millions. I'm gonna make new millions.
mm,
So between the gold and the properties and the restaurants, you know, I was just really loading up on businesses to make those M's again. And, you know, I was successful up until they looked at what I was doing and they was like, oh, this girl is unstoppable. So they came back, and that's when they came and got me and charged me criminally. And I spent I was sentenced to 10.5 years in prison. I did 9 years and 2 months, and I was sentenced to 10.5 years.
Yeah, so yeah, so one of the things that I like to do on JAH-ACE TV is like, always we hear a lot about the dudes that done did crime and went to prison and all that. But I also want to, I deal with equality. I want to show that some of the women was in the trenches too. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
yeah, and some women then went in there and they were able to come out here and still make a positive impact. We hear all the negative stories, but sometimes I like to put some highlights on, the positivity. So you got some people that they're like, they're asking about, are you from the trap queen? So yeah, the answer is yes. She's the official trap queen. And y'all get ahead and share the live, man. Let people know Aisha Hall is in the building. This is a big deal, man. She done travel, she done touched millions, and look how humble she is. She not acting a certain way. She still is willing to reach out to some of the peoples and share some of the knowledge that she done gained over the years and share some of the things that she's done over the years. So I got something I want to show you real quick, Aisha.
Okay.
Yeah, I wanna ask you something about this right here. You know, because like I said, I do my homework and everything, my due diligence. What was it like, for the first time? You see the screen?
I see the screen.
What was it like the first time, like, through all the trouble that you've been in, when your mother first came to see you on that visit? Like emotionally, like what were you going through at the time, dealing with, like, you disappointed her, or let the people know what that was like on that visit, like for the first time that she ever came through.
It's very crazy that you actually showed that picture because that was a rough day for me. I was already in MDC Brooklyn for 2 years before I actually went to prison. I was going back and forth to court. My family would come on a visit every Friday for an hour. My mom never missed a visit except for when my brother got killed. My mom would come, and it wasn't really real because I'm still going to court. And when you go into court, there's hope that maybe, when you ask for dismissals, it'll go through. Maybe when you asking for bail or bond, it will go through. There's hope. You kind of live court date to court date because you haven't been
Fact.
sentenced. So after I got sentenced and they shipped me to West Virginia, that's when shit got real. And that was the first time I saw my mom when I got to prison. And I'm a very stern, I don't want to say I'm hard, but I'm definitely not really like an emotional woman. I ran a team of men. So, you can't really show too much softness because, you don't want anybody to walk over you, especially being a girl. So I was already used to kind of being a little tough. So I'm walking down to the visiting floor and I see my mom's in the distance and I just started bawling, because I'm like, oh shit, I'm about to be away from my mom and my family for a 10-year bid. Who
Mm-hmm.
can see 10 years down the line? If I ask somebody right now, where do you see yourself in 10 years? You could throw out some imaginary story, but it's really
That's
hard
right.
to know what you'll look like, what you'll feel like, what you'll be doing. So it just felt like I was doing like a freaking life sentence. So when I saw my mom's, it was like, this is unbelievable. Like, I'm really gonna be seeing
Mm-hmm.
you under these circumstances for the next decade. Like, it was definitely very, very hard. And I put a smile on because my brother had just gotten killed by the police not too long ago from that time. And I knew my mom was already depressed about that. And it's like, damn, she buried one child who was dead, but it was like she buried another child who was still alive, is what it felt like. So
What a powerful woman to be able to even have a straight face at that time. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Dealing with that because, you know, in that system, what a lot of people don't understand, or what should I say, overstand, is that you go in, you're not guaranteed to come out. Anything could happen. And I
Anything.
know that, and I know that was in the back of your mother's mind as well. Like, so when you were going through all those different times, and you said your family was coming up. Your mother didn't miss a visit.
Never. Well, when I was in MDC Brooklyn, she didn't miss a visit for 2 years. They were there every Friday. But when I got to West Virginia, they were 10, 11 hours away.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to put that burden on my family to come all the time. So they usually came for like, my birthday and the holidays. So they would come 2 or 3 times a year. But it was expensive. I mean, they came about 10 deep and they would stay Friday,
Wow.
Saturday, and Sunday, stay in a hotel. You're talking about 3 days, booking a room, buying food, sitting in a, prison for 6, 7 hours. It was a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just super indebted to them for being down. They never judged me. And but I think that one of the reasons they never judged me is because I never judged myself. You know what I'm saying? I allowed myself
Mm-hmm.
to be flawed, make these mistakes, and they were learning experiences. I mean, because at the end of the day, there's no reward without risk. That's a fact. There's
Oh,
people
you're
like
right
me
about
that are
that.
very, very wealthy that just never got caught, got out of the game or whatever they were doing and built a great life for themselves, and people revere and love them. The only difference with me and them and many other people is that they didn't get caught and I did, But when we talk about certain levels of wealth, it's very difficult to attain it, not breaking any rules. And before you have that prison fear in you, which I didn't because I was about it. Like if it was a way to make money, I was with
Mm-hmm.
it, because I didn't have that fear. And I wouldn't say that I'm a scary person, but I have definitely learned that time is the only asset that we really have because you could lose money, make it back. You know what I mean? But you can't lose time and get it back. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Once
So
it's gone, it's a wrap.
it's
So
over. It's
salute,
over.
salute to everybody that's in the building. Y'all share the live. I want to give some people some shout outs that's in the building viewing this because I can see it. I don't know if you can see the comments.
I can't see.
Oh, you can. Quana Seymour, salute.
Yeah,
Tavon
I'm
Miller,
on.
salute. Big Dice, salute. Tavon Miller, salute, man. G Max, salute. So it's a lot of people that's tuned in. They heard you was in the building and they said they gotta come through. There's a lot of podcasters and people want to come up that's in the building. So people gonna tap in, man. They went and looked at your story, they see what you're doing. So people gotta acknowledge you. They gotta show love. And I'm saying you
I
deserve it.
appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot.
So
I
don't
really
be
do.
surprised if other people don't tap in. Yo, Melly Mel, what up? You know, I'm just appreciative to see. Me personally, I've always been the type of person that I used to like hanging around women because you see how you stood 10 toes down and you ain't take nobody down. So I
Oh
always seen
no.
that. You see what I'm saying? So I always seen that in women, even when I was younger. That yo, man, I like hanging with them because push coming to push coming shove, they gonna hold it down. So when I looked at your story, like I said, I've been watching you for years, so I know that you stood your ground and you did what you had to do, and you did your time and everything. So um, when you went through all that, did you ever go through a time where you felt like, damn, am I ever gonna get out of here?
Oh hell yeah. Absolutely.
So tell the people how that feel.
It feels like what I kind of described it not too long ago about that buried alive feeling. I think being in prison is the closest thing to being dead. You know what I mean? Like you are alive, but you're not in the world. So it's a feeling of like if you let it. I mean, I can speak from other people's experiences from witnessing, but I'm a very strong person. And as soon as I got in, when I realized that I started like mentally feeling down, I don't I don't feel my best self when I'm down. I gotta always be like in a position of moving forward.
Hit
So
that like button, y'all.
I started writing books. I started doing stuff that was going to keep my mind, sharp, keep
Mm-hmm.
my mental together. But I witnessed some of the most depressed women I'll probably ever see. You know, people, mothers away from their children. You know, just
Yeah,
women
yeah,
are the foundation of the family a lot of times. You know, because they do the mothering, they do the cooking, they do the. You know how women are. We do a lot.
yeah, yeah,
So when
yeah.
you take the woman out of the household, you know, most men, you know, yeah, they could be great, even great fathers. It's very difficult to raise a child sometimes without the mother. So you talking about, you know, a very important piece of the puzzle missing. So the
Mm-hmm.
depression was real. You know what I mean? And I more so was one of the balm givers. I was always writing plays to keep the women, you know, busied around the holidays so they wouldn't get depressed. I was
Salute
always
to
doing
L Famous in the
something.
building. Mm-hmm.
You know, what's up, Maurice? I can
You
see.
see
I
my
can
man
see.
Mo Blind. You know Mo Blind, right? You know
Maurice.
Maurice? That's
Yeah, I
Mo
know
Blind.
Maurice. Yeah,
Yeah,
we.
that's family right there. That's you know that's one of the I got the Mo Blind because we call him Mo Blind. Maurice, we got the Mo Blind story coming up soon.
Yeah, he be kicking some shit. So.
You know, and you know he's one of the youngest dudes that ever was in the juvenile system that went on to become an adult inside the jail system. He went in jail when he's like 14, 15 years old. So I
But it's
got the Mo.
crazy because
Yeah,
Maurice, he actually went to school with my man. So,
a word.
my
Yeah, so
man. So, you know,
yeah,
that's
I
pretty
got the
dope.
Mo. That's family right there. That's a real one. And me and Mo was in the system together, and we got the Mo Blind story coming up.
Oh,
Salute to the
that's
old
fire.
50 China Brim in the building. Salute, bro. Thanks for the support, man. Yeah, so I wanted to ask you about um when you and some of your, like you said, you became an individual that was like able to cheer young women and older women up when you was in the system. What gave you that strength to be able to do something like that, even though you was facing all that time?
I really want to accredit that to like my pops. You know, he really equipped me. He really equipped me from when I was younger on how to stand tough. You know, my dad was in the street, so you know, what if the police came in and questioned? We knew to be quiet. We knew all those things already. Those things were already instilled. So those same things apply to me. You know, in prison, I was like the rat checker. You know, like something go wrong, you don't have to run and go tell. You know, if you got
Oh,
a
you was
situation,
checking those rats?
definitely.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I
what's
could
up. I
tell you
like that.
stories, or other people could tell you stories. Like I would be out in the yard, you know, maybe working out or working or whatever I was doing. And as soon as I walk in the unit, everybody running up to me. Yo, Ish, such and such went to the police and says, you know, so it was like up to me to go check the person who
Yeah.
was, you know, talking too much. It was just like a responsibility because I knew I was one of the, you know, when you're a leader, you know, when you're a person
Mm-hmm.
that's stronger than most, it comes with responsibility. You know what I mean? Whether you want to or not,
100%.
it's just expected of you. So I definitely was one of the chicks that if you do some foul shit, you know, you're gonna have to answer to me and you're gonna have a conversation with me or whatever. Because at the end of the day, when the unit is running peace, we could do our time so much better, you know, so much better. I remember there was an incident where there was a girl who did some crazy shit in the TV room. So they locked us all in. Everybody lock in. And everybody wanted to watch Love and Hip Hop, right? It was a Monday. Everybody wanted to watch Love and Hip Hop. TV room was packed, you know, ratchet shit. And I remember them saying, we lock in the TV room unless y'all tell who was doing such and such. So I'm looking at everybody like, fuck Love and Hip Hop. We're gonna stay in our room. Fuck, it's the TV. No big deal. If you let them
Mm-hmm.
control you with a television, you know, you never gonna have no power. So it is what it is. We'll watch the rerun next week. So one bitch decides, I wanna watch. You know what I mean? So she's like, oh, it was such and such that was in there doing this and that. Because they promised us that they was gonna open the TV room and somebody tell. So this bitch tells, and it was like, thank you very much. They went and got the girl and said, y'all still on lock. And we still ain't get to watch the TV. So I was
Wow.
just like, you know, and after that, it was I had to go check her because it's like you just fell for the okie doke. You turned on your sister for these white folks in here that don't give two shits about this show or you, and we still ain't getting nothing out of it. Now you just a snitch. You know what I mean? So it was with the girls, it's not as violent, but it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely, there's a lot of other dangerous shit that goes on because I don't care. I could get punched in the face. I could get into a fight. That's temporary. But when you're talking about getting longer time, doing, get moved up to a maybe more, serious facility, these are things that's not overnight. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's a
it's a
lot
fact.
more damage that's done from telling. I'd rather have a fight and it be done than to be sitting in prison for an extra 4 or 5 years where I could be home with my family. So but overall, the women, I would
So,
say, compared to the men,
mm-hmm.
even though they're a little more emotional or a lot more emotional, I think they're a lot stronger. I think women are already used to going through a lot of bullshit. So prison is just another form of the bullshit that we go through as women anyway.
So,
So I think
so,
that the women, honestly, from what I saw, they handled their bids a lot stronger. Like I hear stories of guys that's like, oh, my girl left me and they all depressed and don't want to
mm-hmm.
get out the bed. But the girls, if they guy left them, they just like, fuck it. He was fucking around anyway. We used to this shit. So they were able to carry the burden a little bit stronger than the men.
so, how you feel about like this current state, like the way things are now with all this telling and all that that's going on?
What?
Like every time you turn around, that's all you hearing when you hear about a story. Somebody's snitching. Like
I've been looking for the first rocket ship.
give it to me from a woman's perspective.
Listen, let me tell you real shit. I've been looking for the first rocket ship to go to Mars or the moon to get away from these motherfuckers. It's so bad and it's so disturbing to my soul, to see the number of men that justify, make excuses,
Mm-hmm.
um, just make it like it's okay to give somebody to the system like that because you don't want to man up for what the fuck you did. Everybody knows you scam, you might go to jail. You sell drugs, you might go to jail. You should not be operating in these type of illegal businesses and transactions if you're not willing to deal with the consequences if you happen to get caught. Just the amount of femininity in the men is so mind-blowing. I don't even really talk to nobody. I have a very, very small circle. I'm scared. You know what I mean? Because the amount of weakness and just fraud, fake, it's
Mm-hmm.
crazy to me. It's almost unreal. It's almost unreal. I did a song about it when I was in the Bronx. I did a song about it, basically like, this ain't a
You
diss record, this a hurt record. How we let the culture get so disrespected. OGs let it slide, like, and they never checked it. What's even worse is they just accept it. Like that's like it's a hurt feeling. It's more than just like, damn, I'm disappointed. It's a
can you
hurt
can you
feeling.
can you say that one more time so that can marinate in people's head? That whole thing you just said, like that people need to hear this, man. I'm tired of it. I'm
Oh,
tired of
I
the BS,
said
man.
this ain't a diss record. This a hurt record. How we let the culture get so disrespected. OGs let it slide and nobody checked it. What's even worse is they just accept it. You know, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like a whole lot of bitch assness. Bitch assness has become the norm. So it's disturbing.
Yeah. So when you went to when you finally got to the point where that day was coming close for you to be released, did you like did you could you believe it, or you was like, yo, no, I'm not gonna believe it until that door opened.
Oh,
They
I ain't
actually
believe it.
cracked
I
that.
ain't believe it. I'm gonna tell you something. People always ask me. I do a lot of interviews, and people say, what did it feel like going home? And I said, going home felt the same exact way coming in. When you walking in, you can't
Mm-hmm.
believe it. When you walking out, you can't believe it. It's the same feeling. It's like you coming in and it's like, wow, I can't believe this is happening to me. When you leave it, it's like, wow, I can't believe, is this really happening to me? It's like it's the same feeling on opposite ends of the same spectrum.
Yeah, that's a fact. And when you like they came deep to pick you up when you was leaving, how many people was there actually waiting for you to get out of there? Like,
Man, probably about a good 15, 20. But the most memorable part when I was leaving, it's like you walk down this hill and the prison compound is like kind of at the top of the hill, and the hill is like a flat top, like a plateau. And when I was leaving and I looked up, it was about 100 women up there screaming, yelling, waving, calling out to my grandfather because he was my number one rider. You know, they was chanting, Poppy, Poppy. This is my 70-something-year-old grandfather, you know, that they screaming at. Ish, we love you. Like, it was
mm-hmm.
crazy, you know, just to see that amount of love, and to see the impact that I had on so many women. I mean, I did my entire time helping other people. If I wasn't helping them with their case, I was helping them heal with their family. You know, I had one girl, one woman, I should say, who daughters wouldn't talk to her because she was locked up. And I remember writing them a letter telling them, you should be ashamed of yourself. I wrote them on behalf of their mom, and they wrote their mom, you know, the following week and helped fix their relationship. I did my entire time, like, it was my chance to, you know, use my healing gift. You know, I did my entire bid helping people, whether it was legal, whether it was personal, whether it was philosophical, you know, because I be on my
Mm-hmm.
God shit. You know, I'm not a religious person at all. I acknowledge myself as a goddess, that everything that we experience in life is, you know, based on our own thoughts and by our own, you know, acts.
You
We
know that's
create everything. So I
you,
helped a lot of the women see, like, you sitting here crying and complaining. What you need to be doing is taking responsibility for every predicament that you're in. Maybe you'll move with, you know, better tenacity. You'll move with more structure because you are the creator of everything that you experience. So I helped a lot of people see that and helped improve their lives. You know what I mean? So I got a lot out of my bed. I can't complain about it at all. I can complain about being away from my family. You know, my father was murdered while I was away. My brother got killed. But, you know, I got a lot of life out of my bed because I got to have those intimate connections with so many people and help so many people. That's why I'm known today. You know, I'm the same humble person
mm-hmm.
I was when I was dead broke, same humble person I was when I got rich, same humble person in prison, same humble person rebuilding my life again. I never changed, you know. So I definitely enjoy the respect that I get, knowing that I'm an authentic person.
Yeah, see, one of the things that made me wanna like really tap in with you for the longest is that when I first saw you and just read just a little bit, I knew you was an official. You see what I'm saying? Because I got a lot of women in my family, and like I said, I used to like to hang around a lot of women. So I just seen it, way before. Like you see how they get in depth of your story now, like even way before then, because a real king gonna see that.
Facts, true. Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I gotta acknowledge that, and like I hope that a lot of women, listen to what you're saying, so they don't have to go through the trial and tribulation that you've been through to finally wake up. So let
Right.
me ask you, so while you was bidding, did you have a significant other holding you down, or how did that work out? Or dude left you?
It's interesting you asked me that. I was with someone, and they ended up leaving me. You know, they was there for a little while, and then as time went on, they just slowly just distanced themselves, and moved on. You know, so it takes a different type of person to be with you when you're not physically present, and everybody's not built for that. You know, everybody's not built for that. You know, people aren't equipped for the long haul, when they're not benefiting from it. You know, most people are with somebody like, you know, and not to be like explicit, but oh, we have good sex, or we make
Hmm?
good money
Nah,
together,
be
or
on JAH TV. We raw, so you can say
oh,
whatever it
okay, all
is you
right.
want to say.
So, you know, they might be with you just simply by the way you make them feel. Like, and then if you can't do that anymore, then they're no longer interested in you because the connection is based off of purely physical or purely, you know, money or whatever. And in my situation, you know, I was a millionaire. You know, I was doing extremely well. And when I went to prison, I didn't have nothing. I was at the bottom of, the totem pole. So I felt like, maybe I wasn't, valuable in that way. So he said, fuck me. And I'm sure I know he regrets it now, but at the same time, it's like, I would have never known the level of bitch assness, the level of fakeness had I not gone through that. So sometimes you gotta go through shit to see, are people gonna be with you for the long haul? Do they really care? Are they gonna stick with you? And even when it gets tough and you have ups and downs, at the end of the day, are they gonna, rise above whatever challenges or, whatever temptations? Are they gonna really stay with you? Because there's a difference between, I always tell people, between loyalty and faithfulness. Like some people can be loyal,
Mm-hmm.
and I think a lot of women deal with men maybe being, you know, um, not loyal. Where women can be loyal and faithful, or they could even just be loyal, but it's better than being nothing. And for the women, a lot of times it's nothing.
What about
You know what
blind
I'm saying?
loyalty?
Huh?
What about blind loyalty?
When you
Like
blind.
like being blindly loyal. Like a lot of people, like most people, are loyal in a way where it's one sided basically.
Hmm.
You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like it's because you know somebody for X amount of years or whatever, but they don't view you in the same way you view them, or they don't got the love you got for them.
Hmm.
But you think that. You
Hmm.
see what I'm saying? So that happens a lot. Somebody
Well,
act, yeah, go ahead.
now I was gonna say I don't really know if it would be blind. I think it could be more so ignorant because I've
Mm.
never, I would talk to the women, like for example, that got left, and I would say, I know this is can't be that shocking. There had to be some signs that this person was just not a rider. Even in my situation, there was little things that I ignored because of my ego. I thought that it couldn't happen to me. You know what I mean? Like, oh, he would never leave me. I'm different. But I seen other little signs that I ignored. And I think that happens a lot. Like when it comes to people just doing you dirty, people don't just wake up and do you dirty. You see little things and you ignore it. And then when it happens all the way full, it's like you really can't be that surprised because people showed you signs. So I wouldn't really say blind. I would say more so ignorant, where you kind of close your eyes to certain things because that's not the way you want it to be, rather than seeing it for what it really, really is. I think that
Okay.
happens a lot.
Somebody asked, they said that being that you was in the system and you dib and dabbed in the law library and stuff like that. What's your take on the whole young thug gunner thing that's going on? Like they want to know, is it do you think he telling, or you gotta wait to see further paperwork, or you gotta wait till other things unfold first before you can determine?
No, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, if you tell me a secret and I expose that secret and nobody gets in trouble by it, there's no legal ramification from it, but I still put you on blast, am I a snitch or not? I really like Gunna, and I was trying to find ways to rationalize the whole situation. I really was. I'm like, well, maybe he just had to say that in order to, help the whole team. But you still said people did criminal activity. So that is snitching. Either you say it or you say nothing. It's no in between. You can't say little pieces. Like for
Mm-hmm.
example, when I had my case, um, you know, they asked me to give specifics about who else was involved. Just say it was unnamed persons. I'm not saying shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because I could get myself jammed up, other people jammed. You know how many people got locked up and then a superseding indictment comes later, and what does it say? John Doe and unnamed persons. So when you dealing with these people, you know, you either going to stay silent and take responsibility, or you're not. And to me,
True
it's like,
indeed.
you said too much. Now, that's just the raw reality. But I can't speak on my people and the decisions we make without speaking on the positions that they put us in. So the laws shouldn't be so harsh in the first place for some of this shit. So it shouldn't be, okay, tell or spend the rest of your life in prison. That shouldn't be the options, because all we have is our lives. So I do feel for the fact that, like, if you selling drugs or you selling some crack or whatever you're doing, and you could get 5 years in prison, all right, I could hold it down. But when you sell a little bit of crack and these white folks put these laws together where you could spend the rest of your life in prison, I don't think that's a fair decision or a fair position to put somebody in either. So I'm not saying that it's okay by any means, but I have to acknowledge the other side of the system that puts us in these
Mm-hmm.
predicaments. They create this poverty, they create this fake wealth system that everybody's chasing. People go out of their way to try to, live the American dream, and sometimes don't always make the best decisions. And then you get caught, and now it's like, I already was struggling. Now I got to think about spending the rest of my life in jail because I was just trying to hustle.
Yeah, there's
I don't think that's fair either. So I have to speak on that as well as me speaking on the fact that, I think there was a level of
yeah,
telling there. I
yeah,
have
because
to say the other side.
yeah, because there's no gray areas, and that's part of the issue. It's too much gray area, and people always, not just the gunner situation, but even right in the hood near you, everybody's always trying to make excuses for people. It is what it is at the end of the day. If I don't give a fuck if I know you since we was in kindergarten or whatever. There's people that I don't rock with right now because they told, and we were once peoples. Yeah, we gonna get her
Mhm.
back in the building, y'all. Aisha, you there?
I'm here.
Yeah, I can't see your camera. You might have hit your camera by mistake.
1 second. My phone rang. Hold on.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah, but people gotta cut it out with the gray area situation.
I'm gonna
So
have to leave and come back.
all right, yeah, leave and
Two
come back.
seconds. Two
Yeah,
seconds.
yeah, she'll be right back. But yeah, we all gotta cut it out with the gray area thing, and we can't be giving passes just because maybe um we knew somebody and we know their mothers and cousins and nah, nobody get a pass. Salute to Lumumba in the building. Y'all hit that like button, share this live, man. We got somebody special in the building. We got
I'm
Aisha Hall in
back.
here, man. And this is a blessing having her on the platform. And like, this is to open the door for other people because JAH-ACE ain't no hater. And if I'm only gonna promote certain people to interview her. And now that I know she know Mo Blind, it's definitely different. You know what I'm saying? So she's open to interview people, but she definitely not allowing no rats to interview her. You know what I'm saying? That ain't happening. So yeah, I got something I want to show you, Aisha.
Okay.
So talk to me about your crew, man. And and, and,
Hmm.
and before we go into that, let's say rest in peace to K Slay. As y'all see, Aisha Hall, her and her crew, they was on the cover of Straight Stunt. I had that up top. Um, y'all was able to grace the cover of the Straight Stunt, and we all thank K Slay for what he put together for the peoples. So y'all had everybody going crazy with this. And
Yeah,
y'all
yeah,
see what
yeah.
it is. All these women y'all see on the screen, they all did prison time. We want to salute all of them. So we want to salute Jamila T. Davis, Sonny Money, Jamila Aisha Hall, and what's the next sister name?
Shawana.
We want to salute Shawana too. Let all of them know about JAH TV, Aisha.
I definitely will.
You
Definitely
know,
will.
tell me about this right here. All of y'all at some point was with each other in a can. So let the people know what was it like to actually take off the prison jumpsuits and actually play these roles right here and look sexy like this for the Straight Sutton magazine? What was it like y'all doing this?
Actually, it was crazy because we actually put on the jumpers and chopped them up. Those was prison jumpers that we had cut up and,
Yeah,
tried to show a different side because people have this image of women in prison, busted looking cornrows, bad skin, just looking beat down and toe up. And we wanted to show like, nah, especially being in the feds, it was all of us were businesswomen, all of us were bosses, all of us had made a lot of money, all of us had ran our own companies, all of us got to it. And we came together because we wanted to show unity with boss women. A lot of times when it comes to women, there's a lot of mix up and craziness. And not to say we didn't have some of our own like disagreements and stuff, because you're talking about four powerhouses, you know what I mean? And everybody has an opinion, everybody did things their own way. But at the end of the day, we stood tall. You're talking about Jamila, she got 12 and a half years. I had 10 and a half years. These are big numbers for females,
y'all did football numbers, man.
Yeah,
At the end of the day.
women. And I always tell people, if I was the getaway driver in a bank robbery with a dude and we both got sentenced to 20 years, at that age, he could come home and start a family. As a woman, your anatomy changes. You can't have children past a certain time. So when a woman does a lot of time, it's a big deal. Like me, I went in, I didn't have any children. Fortunately, I came home and I met someone, a wonderful guy. We have a great relationship, but he got locked up. So now it's like, damn, I don't have room forever. You know what I mean? I'm already on a fine line doing so much time. I want to have a family. And it's like,
to
I'm
plant that
limited.
seed.
Absolutely.
It's definitely time for you to get what you deserve. And it's such a beautiful thing, and you deserve it. And I'm glad you touched on that because you're right. A dude could go and do 15, 20, 25,
To
30
start
years
a family at
and
60 years old.
and
That's
still
right.
come home and have 3, 4 kids. You're right.
You
And
give them a young thing, they go, they do what they do, they have children, but I haven't been so fortunate in that because I'm older,
yeah,
I'm 39, you know what I mean? And I went away when I was 25. I've been home a few years. I came out, I still had to be in a halfway house. I'm single. So now I gotta look through all these bitch ass men because the world definitely changed from me going in to coming out. And it's like the pickings was very slim.
yeah. But let me tell you something. You're gonna be blessed, and you're gonna get that. What you want, you're gonna have it. It's going to it's gonna happen when the brother get out. It's gonna go down, and I'm putting that in the air.
I appreciate
You know
that.
what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So somebody, Melly Mel, she said in the comments, she said, if y'all didn't think there was such a thing as an alpha female, you're looking at one. Hit that like button. You hit that like button. Why y'all playing games, man? JAH-ACE TV is different, man. I'm on a different type of time. And I don't hate on nobody, Aisha. I'm always supporting people. And Mo Blanc could tell you, you know what I'm saying, when we was up top together, you know, we was big deals. Me and Mo Blanc, we was like major figures in the Rastafarian community. So, and that's my guy. Like, so I'm out here pushing what we said we was gonna do when we was in the system. I'm doing it out here. You see what I'm
Big
saying?
respect to you for that.
Yeah,
Big respect to you for that because a
yeah.
lot of
Because
people talk the talk but come out and don't walk the walk. So
and Mo Blanc was like an individual who him one of my brothers Sharif, may he rest in peace. They set the tone because they came home first and they was already working with juveniles. And so when I came home and I seen what they was doing, I'm like, listen, I already want to do this, but when I seen them do it, it inspired me. You see what I'm saying? And we still, me, Mo Blanc, and others, we still putting in that work. A lot of people be like, with the lip service talking. Da, 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 da. Listen, I do this every day. I ain't playing games with this. You know what I'm saying? Like we went in, a lot of us went in when we was young, and we trying to deter some of these individuals from going through what we went through. You know what I'm saying? because some of the people that was actually in the system with her, they ain't make it out.
That's right.
You know, every time you turn around, even on Rikers right now, you're hearing people dying.
It's crazy. Rikers is really the Wild Wild West. Like, that's a different level. And that just goes to show you that what is the point? You know, what are you really trying to do by locking people up? Like, I talk a lot about I don't know if you're familiar with reformative justice.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course.
You know, and other ways of dealing with people who so-called break these so-called laws, depending on what it is. I'm definitely against crimes against a person. I'm definitely against pushing the people on the train tracks. I'm definitely against rape. Definitely against uncalled for murder. I'm definitely against crimes against children. I'm definitely against a lot of things, you know. But there's some things that just shouldn't be in the law books that have no place. For example, I don't believe that people should go to jail for selling drugs. That's just my personal opinion. If I want to get high, that's my business. That's no fault. You know, I don't think that people should be doing life for selling a product. If you're not going to put the same rules with pharmaceutical companies or put the same rules with, you know, fat foods, you know, McDonald's kill more people than crack. I just feel like there's certain things that really don't belong on the law books on that level. You want to find people, you know, okay, we live in a society, you make money, you pay a tax or what, fine, because there's countries that do it. But locking up so many of our people for just trying to survive and being born into a culture that they created where we had to sometimes do unscrupulous things just to maintain a basic life, that should not be something where people are spending the rest of their lives in prison for. That's just crazy to me. You know, so
they definitely out of hand with that, man. And it's just it's sad what's going on. And this is why I don't understand why people keep doing certain things, because that place is not a place that you want to be, man.
It's not. And with the stroke of a pen, weed is legal. You know, I was locked up with a lady, you know, bless Miss Linda, older lady. You know, she got a 25-piece for weed. And her state, Ohio, was one of the first places that made it legal. And right before she was getting out, she had gotten, you know, become older. They forced her to go and buff the floors in the jail, and she fell and broke her hip. You know what I mean? So it's just like, for what? You know, over the same thing that was so wrong and so harsh. Now, with the stroke of a pen by a group of overly opinionated white men sitting in a room in Washington, they decide, okay, this is okay now. It wasn't okay yesterday. We're going to ruin your life, ruin your family life. But you know what? It's okay today. I mean, we have to be careful as a society that we don't get caught up in these people's opinions about what's wrong. If they wake up and say, you can't wear red on Thursday nights, you going to jail.
Yeah, that's true.
Because of somebody's opinion. I mean, who decides what's morally right and wrong when it's not crimes against humanity? Who decides that? And it's ruined millions and millions of our lives. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm always going to use my platform and speak out against shit like that and these mandatory minimums and just locking people up for hustling. They hustle worse shit than we ever could have hustled. They hustle diseases. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my last job, I used to I was bringing kids out to, well, let me not say kids. I'm gonna say youth and young adults. I was bringing them out to City Hall, and we was out there, you know, letting it be known, yo, shut Rikers down, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm one of the people that was definitely out there doing all that. Like, but I just don't be posting everything on IG and stuff like that. But I do a whole lot of different things, man. You know, and like even like the whole YouTube thing, like you be seeing like the different back and forth beefs and all that. Like I'm like, man, people just need to cut it out at the end of the day, because you gonna make an indictment so easy. Like if something happened, like the police ain't really got to do no real work no more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, it's kind of crazy. I saw something that really hit me, and I wanna share this with you. So this is what JAH-ACE do. JAH-ACE he do his homework.
I was sentenced to 10 and a half years in federal prison. And if you look at these pictures I took while I was doing my bid, most of them I was smiling or extremely focused. That's because happiness and success is a personal choice that comes from within. Circumstances don't matter. You either are or you're not.
What's up, y'all? It's Aisha Hall. Y'all can call me Ish. I'm here from the People's Federal Prison. Tell y'all a little bit about myself. I've been down for the last 7 years.
You see, I like to show things like that because, it shows the transition. And
Mm-hmm.
like you said earlier, and I see it more now, just watching that little clip. Like you were smiling up in there even through all that. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
I wasn't giving them my smile. I definitely wasn't giving it. They wasn't going to get that. You know what I mean? They wasn't going to
Yeah,
get that.
that's a blessing right there that you was able to like still have that and be able to say, yo, nah, they already got my freedom right now. I'm not giving them everything, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So what was it like to lose, like to be able to touch that kind of paper and have to like start all over?
You know what? That's probably my biggest struggle. Bigger than being in prison. Bigger than even the people that I lost that were close to me. I've processed death as part of life. Everybody's gonna die. It's something that we're all headed for. Every day we closer to dying. It's something that I've processed, but I can't process being broke, and not to say I'm broke, but I'm broke compared to where I was at, and having that level of freedom. When you have millions and millions of dollars and money is not an object and you can basically do whatever, whenever, at that time, I remember everybody complaining about gas. I couldn't relate. I didn't look at gas prices. I didn't walk in the store and look at price tags. If I saw it, I bought it. No questions asked. If I wanted a certain type of jewelry, I wanted a car, I wanted to travel. Money was not an object. And that is the biggest object for most people. So to be in
Mm-hmm.
that level of freedom and have access to that amount of money and also the power that comes with it, because I don't feel like you're really powerful or free if you don't have money. You know what I mean? People respect you different. You're able
Yeah.
to kind of cut the line with certain things. You're not on a waiting list. You get to
Yeah.
live really like a king or queen. So to have access to that type of life and to
Mm-hmm.
lose it, I think that's a bigger punishment than everything else combined. Honestly, that has been my biggest challenge. And then to be on probation, which I'm still on, and to be limited with where I could go or who I could talk to, it's like that's another battle because I know I got the tools and the skills to do certain things, but you limit it.
Yeah.
That is a punishment that I think supersedes everything else, honestly.
Yeah. So I know I thought about that because I know that probation, parole, all these different things, when you under that supervision, yeah, you out here, you're not all the way free, so people could know. Like they could come and tell you right now, well, we saw you went such and such place and we didn't know, and you were such and such people was at that place where you was at. So, they still can make certain rules and everything for you. So how has it been for you? Who was it? Oh yeah. So Tavon Miller was like, how did the COs treat you women in there? Like, cause we hear the stories. He want to hear directly from somebody that was actually there. Tavon.
All right, I'm gonna answer both questions. To answer your first part about the way you could go and all of that, I actually got violated because my man actually caught a charge while we were together, on paper like me. And when they came to get him, when they saw I was at the house, they violated me for being with another felon. So I would have been off paper already, but I caught, I don't want to say another charge, but I, got violated. So I went
Wow.
back on an ankle bracelet. They were trying to lock me up. I was able to get around that, but I still had to have a bracelet on. I still got restricted to not being able to leave my town. You know what I mean? Not they went through my business like, like I was committing another crime. They went through my business and tore that apart. I lost a lot of money. And it was over the course of 6 months. I really couldn't make money like that. It was tough. My man has children. We all were living together, and You know, I was with them by myself, so it was a whole new level of responsibility.
Yeah.
Um, it was a lot, and then having that bracelet on all that time, and just not being able to be free. That shit was crazy over who I know or who you love. I mean, come on, it's over the top. So that was definitely a struggle. So that's the answer to the first part.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the second question where he asked about the COs, man, fuck them COs, especially in the South where we was at. They are the worst. No respect for us. Even in the ones that did have respect, you knew that was fake because if they got around the ones that didn't have respect, they ain't have respect either. It's being follow the leader. You know, there was a lot of inappropriate behavior with the officers and the women, a lot lack of compassion. I won't say a lot of violence. Maybe so more so on the state level with the officers and the women, because with the
Mm-hmm.
feds, you know, you're dealing with Congress, you're dealing with there's gonna be some real serious repercussions most of the time. So we didn't really have a lot of that. But you know, physical abuse is just as powerful as mental abuse, and there was a lot of that, a lot. So the COs, man, they just like I said, I call them overseers. You know, I don't call them COs; they overseers for the master. And
Mm-hmm.
I personally, I personally don't really like them. That's just how I feel. They
Well,
worse
we,
than the police in the street. The police in
well,
the street gonna lock me up one time. I'm probably gonna encounter them one time the day they put cuffs on me. Right? I don't have no interaction. But the COs, you live with them. So every day you wake up, you know, sometimes you look like, oh, what's today? Oh, thank goodness, Officer Kent ain't working today because that motherfucker ruin your day. You know, they come in there with these bullshit attitudes and these, you know, this bad energy, and this is where you live. So they worse than the police to me because police is just locking you up, but you got to live with these
mm-hmm.
people 5, 10, 15, 20 years, and they can make your life a living hell. You know, so the COs for me is like the bottom of the barrel. You know, a lot of them. There's some good ones. I'm not going to say there's some that didn't come to just do their job and stay in the cut, but you're still part of the system. You're still
Sal-
signing up for fuckery, so you
salute,
don't really get
salute,
no passes.
salute the DGR, Nari, Black You Now, Shelly Shells. Salute the Smoke, who out there deported in Panama. So that's even a whole nother part. You know, I did a story on that, on the individuals that they've been living here their whole life, and they all their family here, and them people don't care about that. They'll still deport you. So I did
You
it.
should try to get my girl on here, Santra. I'm gonna talk to her. I don't know if you're familiar with Santra Rucker.
I heard the name. We gonna lock in.
Yeah, you should
We
get her
gonna lock
on
in.
here. She did 23 years and she had 13 life sentences. She was able to get out, but
Yeah,
you
we
know,
gonna lock in.
she's a legend. So I think you should definitely
Yeah, we
tap in with the
will.
females.
Salute the Harlem Legend TV, man. You know he got a battle coming up. They got a battle coming up on the 24th, Christmas Eve. They doing like a the battle rap thing.
Oh, okay,
So
okay,
it's
okay.
big. I don't know if you know about Angry Fans on YouTube. They got something going on. It's a big battle going on. I be trying to tap into a little bit of everything because I like to stay abreast of the different things that's going on this YouTube thing. You know what I mean?
hmm hmm
So I want to show you this right here because I want you to tap in with the people, let them know about let's talk about let's promote your books and everything. So for everybody that don't know about Aisha Hall, y'all gonna know today. Y'all gonna know today. Look at her work. She gonna tell y'all how many books that she wrote, and she gonna give y'all some game for like me. I'm in the process of writing my book right now. You know what I'm saying? So she gonna put y'all on right now. She gonna tell y'all, how many books she got, the titles, and how y'all can actually go out and get some of her books. Let the people know.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks for posting that. As y'all can
Mm-hmm.
see, that's actually my best-selling series. That's Kima and Lamar 1, 2, and 3. You also can get it on Kindle as one book called Kima and Lamar: A Ghetto Love Story Reloaded, and you can get it all in one book. King's Reign Supreme, Caught Up Loving a Boss, I have a lot of books. I actually wrote 13 books. I have Larry the London Lion
Say that
also.
again. How many?
13. I wrote 13 books. Um, I wrote also with some other ladies that I was incarcerated with. I did some co-writes, with Annetta Powell. I did co-writes with Brandy Davis. I did co-writes with Shawana King. I did co-writing with Kim Smedley. I did a lot of writing, a lot.
You
Then
did
I have
something with
some that I
Wahida
can't
Clark too.
mention. Oh, Wahida Clark, that's my sis. Shout out to Wahida. Wahida actually is the reason I started writing. I walked in and saw her series, the Thug series, Thugs and the Women Who Love Them, Thug Matrimony, Justify My Thug, all of those books. I read them and I saw that she was a best-selling author who had a 10-year sentence, who was a New York Times best-selling author from prison. And I was like, oh shit. I had just gotten sentenced. I was down about my time. And then literally I saw that literally a couple of days after that. And I was like, wow, if she could do that, I could do that. And I started writing. And believe it or not, towards the end of my bid, when I put out the Pink Panther Click book, my editor said, your writing really reminds me of somebody. She's like a legend. And I said, really, who? And she said, Wahida Clark. I want to introduce you to her. And I'm like, what? She's the reason I started writing in the first place. So she reached out to her and said, I want to introduce you to Aisha Hall. I edit her books. And it was history. Me and Wahida met. We talked from prison. And we actually became very good friends. And she worked on a couple projects with me. She published the Pink Panther Click. And actually, believe it or not, she's the one that mentioned me to the Trap Queen series and got me on B.E.T. So it's crazy to come in and idolize somebody's work and to, look at her as, my inspiration. And then at the end of my bid to actually partner up with her, that was kind of crazy,
Yeah. So like, there's a lot of people wanting to know where they can get the books. Can you say that again? I'm gonna put it in the chat.
Oh yeah, just go to Amazon and put in Aisha Hall books, and all my books come right up.
All right. Go to Amazon and just type in Aisha Hall, right?
Aisha Hall, yeah. You can put in Aisha Hall or Aisha Hall books, if you want to be specific. And I definitely recommend if they have Kindle, because I didn't put it in print because that's kind of, in some ways getting outdated. Most people have Kindles or the Kindle app. King's Reign Supreme. It's, I think, some of my best work. And if you have children and you're
Yeah. Let's
interested
talk
in
about
teaching
that.
them, yeah. That's
We going. We ain't. I ain't leaving no stone unturned.
I appreciate that.
Talk
That's
about that
dope.
children's book.
Yeah, it's Larry the London Lion. I wrote that in prison, and I wanted to write a book about credit because credit was like the foundation of what I was going to use to rebuild my life. I already knew that I was going to come home. I knew I didn't have shit. I made some money from writing books, but most of the money I made writing books, I had to spend writing more books, printing and publishing. So I wrote Larry the London Lion, and it's a children's book that rhymes about credit, teaches kids about interest. It teaches kids about good credit, bad credit, what it means to lend, banking, taxes, the character Hippo Hector, the tax collector. And I use my rap skills when writing the book because I made it rhyme fluidly and it was easy. And I knew that kids would retain the information better if they could remember it by, just with a rhythmic story. So that's some of my best work as well. Just because, a lot of mistakes I made in business, I really didn't know. I'm self-taught. So had I understood better, maybe I would have done things a little different. So the book can give us a better relationship with money. I'm sure, like, we have a lot of bad connections with money where we're from. Most of the time, our parents complain about bills or they broke. Money is not a positive conversation. It's something like we want it, but we hate it because we don't have it. So it builds a negative connotation about money. So I just kind of want to change the conversation. The way I talk about millions and I made this million and that million, I don't want people looking at me like a weirdo, like, oh, that bitch is strange. She got lucky. No, I want millions to be something that's regular and normal to us. You know what I mean? Oh, you made a couple M's, me too. I want it to be regular conversation. And one of the ways to do that is to understand credit, you know, and have deep financial literacy. So I want to put my money where my mouth is. And the book definitely is a start to changing the narrative about, you know, money and finance and credit and all that good stuff.
And the people can go get the book the same way.
Right on Amazon.
A couple people want to know, did you ever do audio?
Yes, so I know Pink Panther Click is an audio book. I think that's my only audio book. Oh, also my other book, Baltimore Raw. I also published that with Wahida. I wrote that with B.E.T from Baltimore, Jesus Hall. We wrote that together, and it is an audio book as well as the Pink Panther Click.
Let me know. So what was it like? Tell me about this performance. How was this? You and Foxy. you and Foxy Brown. Cause I know you got love for her because I see you do some like reenactments and you rip that shit. So what was it like to actually be on stage performing with Foxy Brown?
Oh man, that shit was like surreal. First of all, Foxy is the dopest female rapper, you know. I just remember, you know, like to watch them niggas that's close to you and make sure they do what they supposed to do. Like the shit she was spitting is so relevant still today. She's just fire. You know, she was a idol of mine when it came to music. One of the reasons I started rapping in the first place, and to be able to grace the stage with her in any capacity, even being like almost a hype man, I was so excited and honored. You know, that was probably one of my best moments as a rapper. And, you know, I'm not like these young girls. You know, these young girls is coming up, they 23, 24, and they're rapping. But, you know, one thing that I respect about Foxy and one thing that I respect about being an artist still about myself is like, you know, I'm 39 years old, but I didn't let them take my dream. You know, I feel like I'm a skilled lyricist, and I don't care if I was 50. I'm going to come home. I'm going to drop my albums. You know, I did a deal with Ghost. Shout out to Ghostface. You know, I'm, you know, with his label, Yap City, you know, and Ghostface, for him to, you know, co-sign me and say that he thinks that I'm one of the best female rappers that he's come across. I mean, it don't get no better than that. So, you know, just shout out to everybody that is supporting me doing what I want to do and not letting what I went through kill that dream for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because you know, I always rated Foxy high on my list as well, just so you know. Like, because I was in the system when she came out, Kim came out and all that. And I was like, always wanted them to do something together, me coming from Brooklyn and all that. But it's like, it never happened. But she created, it's a lot of people that, you know, like Nick, when they see Nicki Minaj, that's baby Foxy right there. You know what I'm saying?
I
The
don't
whole
really rock with Nicki though. Like I
I
don't rock
understand, but I'm saying she took the whole Foxy whole shit.
You know
Because Foxy
what?
was flipping
Nicki
that.
is definitely one of the most talented female rappers as well. I respect Nicki's talent. I
Mhm.
just hate the whole 6ix9ine situation. I can't get over it. I
Nah,
can't accept it. I
nah, we
can't. I don't care what contract. You just would have had to be in court for breach of contract. Whatever it was, there's no excuse.
mhm.
It was corny. It turned me off.
Yeah, it was a
And
violation, man.
big
It was a
time. And
violation
that
to
was
the
one of my
culture.
dreams. I wanted to come home and link with Nikki. She's from Queens. I'm from LI. You know, that sister
Right
town
there.
is right there. You know,
Mhm.
Jamaica Queens is like literally, you know, that's second home. That's right there. So that would have been dope. You know, I had a business relationship with Bimmy. You know, I know he was instrumental in her career. You know, it was definitely gonna be inevitable. And then when she did that, it was just like, damn, you just killed that whole vibe. Like,
Do the name DGR ring a bell? Did you ever get some beats from DGR, or you can't remember right now?
I don't know. I may have. I've gotten thousands of beats.
Yeah,
When
he
I came
make.
home,
He's
everybody
in the
was
comment section, and he definitely a good dude. And he told me he had sent you some beats or whatever.
tell
But
him,
I
send
know
him again.
send him again, DGR. You know what I'm saying? Because
I got an album about to drop. I probably got like 2 or 3 more joints to throw in there. So if he got some fire, let's see. I'm trying to put a joint on there from Griselda. I fuck with the Superiors, the Champions, Heat Makers. Also who else? So many people just came through and gave me beats. Fuse from 808 Mafia, Ty Fife, like a lot of dope producers have supported me, so I'm definitely open to some heat right now.
yeah, that's good. That's good to hear that you're open, and so individuals need to tap in. They need to tap in. So you hear it right here. Send the beats. If y'all real serious, send those beats in. Don't just talk about it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And it's definitely an honor being able to have you up on the platform. And
Thank you.
I would like if you would do me the honor. Hold on one second. You see, I put this picture up of y'all. You know what I mean? It's a blessing right there. You know what I mean? Sisterhood. I like to see that. I like to see the women supporting each other, not hating each other. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully the dudes get on that type of time at some point. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But do you have like like something like heartfelt, like a rhyme that you got that's heartfelt that you can spit like for us while we close out? Can you close us out with like something heartfelt?
Let me see. Just spit it a cappella, like
However you see fit.
Do you know what it was like waiting for a date? Like, wait, you mean I gotta do another 8? My nigga's 8, so fuck it. I provided the plate. I inspired my fate. Millions was hitting my plate. You could never relate. Sitting on my bunk and start to throttle. I could get through this. I got 3,000 more tomorrows. Where my heart was beating, now it's hollow. My niggas doing time, I'm guilty because I'm who they follow to the hell gates. I wish that jail was co-ed so we could be cellmates. Instead, I had to see how long this fucking mail take. A milli for the bail, great. No dickie for a dime, I hope I stay straight. Like just some little shit like that,
Yeah, that's what's up.
I don't want to go too crazy, but
Nah,
I definitely got some real heartfelt music, goes into my story, into my emotional state at the time, that I think people will really enjoy. And this new joint coming out under, with the support of Ghost is King in a Dress. It's funny somebody mentioned about me being an alpha female. I've definitely embraced that about myself. I'm definitely, like people say I'm a queen, but I always say like I'm a warrior queen proudly. And my next project is definitely going to reflect that, the hard but soft side of Ish. You know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to putting that out.
Nari, what's going on? Nari's a warrior queen. She in the building.
I
So
know nothing.
L famous wanted to know, what's your views on Sister Soldier as an author, because he said that even as a man, when he read her book, while he was in prison or whatever, it helped change his life. So he would like to know, like, what's your views on her as an author?
Oh, I love Sister Soldier. What? Coldest winter ever. Everything she wrote, everything she speaks about. She's definitely she's not a soldier. Her name now should be like Sister General. You know what I mean? She's more than just a soldier. She's definitely, someone that I've admired, looked up to. Her whole energy is fire. She reminds me of myself in a lot of ways, just a fearless sister. And I'm just saying, it's nothing like a fire ass queen that is self aware, has knowledge of self,
Mm-hmm.
fearless. It's nothing like it. I mean, and no shade to the brothers. I love my strong men, but when a woman is empowered like that, it's like it's something different. You know what I mean? And she's one of them. So she's like, I put her in a category of, especially if you match like artistry, as far as her
Mm-hmm.
being able to tell stories, entertain, speak out. You have her, you have the Asadas, you have Tamikas. I definitely look at her as somebody who is an impactor and literally could change people's lives just by speaking. How can you listen to her and not get motivated? She's so
That's a fact.
self-aware, confident, intellectual, spiritually inclined. She's dope. So shout out to Sister Soldier.
Yeah, I just wanted to put this up on the screen real quick for the non-believers or whatever the case may be. So y'all need to tune in to JAH-ACE TV, man. Go hit that like button on your way out and subscribe. Don't be afraid to subscribe. It's so easy to hit that like button. It's so easy to subscribe. Go ahead and subscribe. Don't hate. And y'all already see the Instagram up there. Aisha, you want to let the people know how they could reach out to you? You want to put your plug in your IG and stuff like that?
Yeah, sure. So y'all can, hit me on Instagram, the real Aisha Hall, Aisha Hall, just like it's spelled, the real Aisha Hall. Y'all can hit me there. On Facebook, it's just Aisha Hall. You can Google me, Aisha Hall. Shout out to people like Godfrey that have used their platform to help elevate me. Shout out to the Breakfast Club. Shout out to VH1. Shout out to B.E.T. They can check me out on B.E.T Plus, American Gangsta. And also, if people want to tap in with me and ask me questions, need some guidance or whatever, I do have a
Yeah, what you said? I can't hear you. Yeah, so this is what happens on JAH-ACE TV, y'all. You know what I mean? So when y'all don't see me drop like every week or whatever case may be, because I'm trying to put out official content. So whenever I do come up here, you know what I'm saying? Just know that it's gonna be official. I can come out with videos and stuff like that every week, but I choose not to because I want to be able to impact the people in the best way possible. Yeah, I hear you loud and clear.
sorry about that.
So
So
you said that people want to
yeah, they can
con-
subscribe to me on Instagram. So I have a $20 a month. I have a $20 a month subscription on Instagram, and it comes with a lot. So they get Zooms with me. I give up some of my courses. I also they get 30-minute calls with me to whatever they need, mentorship, business advice, whatever. That comes $20 a month. If they have a business and they want me to post it in my story to support them, shout them out, rather than pay for individual posts, they get that part of the subscription. They get exclusive videos, exclusive photos, like for my new shows coming out. And shout out to Marquand. I don't know if you know Marquand, but Marquand is the creator of Godfather of Harlem. And he's actually put together a deal for me to do a show, a series with Mass Appeal, which is actually Nas's company, to do a scripted
yeah,
series.
yeah.
So I'm doing that as well. So shout out to Marquand and all of that exclusive stuff, what I'm doing with TV, where I'm going with these networks, all of that, you find out that first with the subscription. So definitely go to my Instagram and click the subscribe button, and you get that special access. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, so me and you, we gonna stay tuned in, and I will continue to promote your stuff with no problem because it's free to support, and I think people have a hard time of understanding that. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember this. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna say you don't remember this, but you remember a while back, the little 15-year-old you was on his platform.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that?
Of course.
That's my little nephew.
Oh wow, small world. I thought he was so dope.
Yeah. So we definitely want to appreciate you, and I know a lot of people gonna tap in. So when you get a lot of new people hitting you up, just know that they heard about you through JAH-ACE, man.
I appreciate that so
And
so much.
love is love, and man, and I hope you get off probation soon. When is your date?
February.
All right, so we pushing for you to get that shit out the way. So you plan on flying out somewhere, something like that, when you do get
I'm
off?
out of here.
All
Out of
right.
here. I'm out of
Cause
here.
soon as I got off paper, I was in Barbados.
Yeah,
I
I'm
was
out of
out.
here.
I was
I'm
out.
out of here. I got family. You know, I have my dad is buried in Jamaica. He got killed there. I haven't been able to visit his grave site and all of that. So I'm out of here. I'm on first thing smoking.
So Queen Mo Fire, if you look on Queen Mo Fire said, should readers start with the Pink Panther click? She wants to know, should they start with that? Like
They
people that's just
could.
tapping into you, they would like to. She want to know, should they start there and then move on?
I think people should start with Kima and Lamar.
Okay, you heard it here first, Queen Mo. Kima and Lamar, start with that.
Yeah, that's my advice. Kima and Lamar, a ghetto love story, 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, that book hit different. Or they could start with uh for themselves adults.
Yeah,
Yeah, for children, obviously it's Larry the Linden Lion. But for adults, um, even if they started with Caught Up Loving a Boss,
okay.
it's another good story. Very entertaining.
You have erotica.
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
Not only
but there's some freaky little scenes in there.
not only ask that because I do be sending people that's in prison. I send them books and stuff. You know, you know how that go.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah.
They get you get everything in my books. There's a
All
little
right.
bit of everything.
All
So
right. Good.
mhm.
You know, love and respect to you. I'm gonna say respect in our aspect.
Thank you.
You know
I
what I'm saying?
definitely appreciate it.
And I'm gonna salute you and say Rastafari.
Thank you.
Bless up.
Appreciate you. Bless up
Done
as
know.
well. Thanks for having me, and
You
we'll be
already
in touch.
know. We
And
will.
thank you to your supporters. Thank y'all for
Facts.
commenting, shouting me out. Real recognize
You
real.
you
I'll be
already
back.
know.
All right.
Love.
See ya. Same
Done
here.
know. Y'all already see what it is, man. JAH-ACE TV. You already know what it is, man. Support is free. You know what I mean? When you see me, ain't no hate over here, man. I'm just trying to make an impact on this thing here, man. That's it, man. You know what I'm saying? There's room for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's about pushing content, man. Let's see where your mind is at. Let's see if you could be creative and come up with different things and challenge yourself, man. A lot of people is not challenging themselves, man. You know what I mean? Reach out to somebody, man, and ask for help if you need the help, man. Salute your Big Dice. You going on live, man. Y'all go ahead and subscribe to Big Dice, man. The Big Dice Chronicles. Subscribe to Big Dice, man. Hit that like button on your way out. You know what I'm saying? Again, this is JAH-ACE TV. If you ain't subscribed, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a good night, man, and enjoy your weekend, your holidays. You know what I'm saying? And let's start the new year off right, man. Put the hate aside, man, and be creative, man. Done know, man. Salute. Love. We already know what time it is, man. We out here just trying to do things out here, man. You know? Bless up. Salute the Platinum Shine. You know what I'm saying? Gotta show love to him, man. He behind the scenes. He be helping a lot of people, man, but he don't get it. He don't get the credit, man. Salute. Salute the Sexy Red. She be out there helping people, you know, behind the scenes as well. You know, 3D, love you. Nalo, love you, boy. Super, you know what I mean? Free TK, free my brother Loon, man. They're in the system, man. For all those that's in the system, let's not forget them. You know, reach out for to your loved ones that's in prison. You know, that need some assistance, that may need just to hear your voice. Put your phone on. You know, hit that JPay. You know, with that, I'm gonna say peace, salute, and love is love to everybody, man. Done no sunny winners. Love is love, King. Don't be afraid to share this live, y'all.